Hello everyone, it is season 2 of the Press Box Preview. I'm Tyler Cavali, this is Scott Foster, and boy, we feel real good to have high school football back, Scott, and we feel somewhat fortunate as well.
We do, and you know, one of the things that we heard talking to coaches around here, the players are just excited to be back. They're just really, even in the soap scrimmages, they were just pumped to play. Coach Cargill talked about that from Cozad. We're pumped to get ready to talk about it and just to do sports again, just to feel normal again.
At least a new normal at this point.
Whatever that is.
Whatever it is, and a lot of people are adjusting. Of course, you're adjusting in your life, so are the high schools and sort of the football teams. And some new changes this year, in particular for high school football. Some guys were required to wear masks. Some teams are required to wear masks. Lexington, for instance, everyone going has to wear a mask. Everyone on the sideline has to wear a mask, coaches included. And that doesn't mean you can't still yell through it. You can still get out whatever you need to. Sidelines are extended a little bit from 10 yards to from the 10-yard line to the opposite 10-yard line to help with social distancing. Coaches still have to stay in their original box, but at least the players have a little bit more room. But this is the new norm, at least for this fall, and everybody has to adjust.
And if you're going to a game, especially if you're going to an away game, check those protocols. Your athletic director should be getting those protocols out so that you know what's expected of you as fans, too. Or just listen to the radio.
That's right, of course. Want to thank all of our sponsors this year as well for continuing the second year of the Press Box Preview. Let's get started. And we have 3 great matchups that we have on tap to start off the brand new season of high school football here on KRVN, Cami, Country, and then of course 93.1 of the River. And let's start with a big Dawson County rivalry, Cozad versus Gothenburg. Last year these two teams went head to head. Gothenburg came away with a victory. Cozad, though, let's start with the Haymakers, 5-5 a season ago. They have lost some talent, but they bring back a lot of experience and should be a promising year for the Haymakers.
Well, I think, first of all, they've got 9 starters back. That's a huge number in C1, so they got lots of guys back, and they have Nolan Watovic back at quarterback. He's explosive, he's fast. We were expecting Cozad to be pretty good last year, and it kind of took them a while to get where they needed to. I think that this is, a pretty good Cozad team Coach Cargill has.
Yeah, you talk about Watovic. He had 13 total touchdowns from a season ago. So the experience that he was able to accomplish last year should help him this season. But as you mentioned, 6 starters offense, 9 on defense, especially on the defensive end. That's key.
And they've always played well with Coach Cargill as the defensive coordinator. He's a defensive guy. He likes to get after folks, and they run through a wall for him. And I think that that's going to be their strength this year. But when you have a weapon, a home run hitter, and they've got speed besides Watovic with Weatherly and Engel and some of those guys, they've got some home run hitters on this team.
Well, how about the Gothenburg Swedes? 8-2 a season ago, another playoff run for them as well. Now, they're kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum, not as much experience coming back, but when you have Coach Hecox guiding the team, things are going to still go in the right direction.
151 wins in his coaching career, 8-2 last year. It was their best regular season they had ever had under him. However, they bring back a senior class with only 4 kids playing football right now, but one of them's Owen Geiken. Right. Owen Geiken's a difference maker. Tubby Baker's a difference maker up there too. They're going to be challenged. A lot of young guys are going to have to learn early. And playing a team like Cozad, a rival like this, I don't know if that gets your juices flowing or if it's a danger game for the Swedes. We're going to learn a lot about them early on, but we do know they'll be coached up well, both on offensive and defensive sides. See a lot of Owen Geiken running up the middle, Wes Geiken handing it off to him.
By the way, Gothenburg has had Cozad's number as of late. They've won 5 straight matchups versus the Cozad Haymakers. That game can be heard on 93.1 The River, and that game also online at krvn.com. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. Over on Cami Country, it's Lexington versus the Seward Blue Jays, and I'll have that broadcast for you. That is the Minutemen coming off of a 4-6 record a season ago, lost in the first round of the Class B playoffs, and well, they've lost a lot of experience from last season. They're kind of starting fresh. There's a lot of jobs that are still open, but you have a guy like Alex Ramos in the backfield who had some big home run hits, if you will, last season. That at least helps maybe feel a little bit better on the offensive end.
If you're Lexington, the hope you have is that winning begets winning. They have had some nice couple seasons here. They've gotten over the hump and gotten to the playoffs again and done some of those things. They're building all over again. The hope is that they're going to find some young folks to put in there. That was a senior-laden team last year. And so, chances are there for a lot of folks, and hopefully somebody for Coach Roan can step up.
Yeah, they had 30-plus seniors from a season ago, so it's a lot of experience. Doesn't mean everybody played, but that's 30 seniors and just experience in general. Yeah. So Coach Roan did mention, though, that he had great participation in people showing up in the weight room, which obviously a lot of teams that have gone on to win state championships, that seems to me a big difference maker. Now their opponent, the Seward Blue Jays, 5-5 a season ago. They lost in the first round as well, the Class B playoffs. They have also lost some valuable experience. They have lost their starting quarterback, their starting running back, and their top 2 wide receivers. So their skill positions are kind of up for grabs. Now they have some guys coming in here that will be able to fill those holes, at least for now. But a lot of experience gone for Seward, a team that generally has been pretty good.
Yeah, and they're gonna have some athletes there. They're gonna have guys that have been waiting in the wings to fill those positions. But on paper and actually playing it is two different things. And it's not a short drive from Seward to Lexington either. So we'll see what they have coming out this year.
Again, that game will kick off at 7 p.m. on Cami Country. It can also be heard at KRVN.com. And our final matchup is Overton at the Bertrand Vikings. That game will be heard on 880 KRVN. And, well, let's start with Overton. Scott, this is a team last year that had a deep run in the playoffs, and if not for a couple of miscues in the D2 semifinals, they might have been playing for a state they would have been playing for a state championship and contending, obviously, for the title. 8-4 last year, again, losing in the D2 semifinals to Pleasanton. But this is a new era, if you will. Matt Harvey is now taken over as the new head coach.
Jumping from junior high to take this over, and he knows the team, he knows the players. He said there'll be some new things to it, some new schemes and stuff like that. This was a very good team last year, and they probably should have gone to the championship, let's be honest. And so they're hungry coming into this year, I think.
Now they're going to be missing some key guys from last year, the running game in particular. Yeah. And those linebackers were so good for the Overton Eagles a season ago. That was kind of their bread and butter, was the running game, just running through people. But we were talking before coming on here, their line has some experience coming back. And for 8-man football, that is key.
That's huge. That's huge. Well, for any level, it's really big to have a nice offensive line. But if you can get 3 guys coming back on your offensive line at 8-man, that's good stuff.
So at least you have a line to build behind, I suppose, in both offense and defense. But the quarterback job open, it seems like running back as well. So we'll see what kind of happens with Coach Harvey in Overton. Now, Bertrand is interesting because they were 2-6 last year, missed the playoffs, but they were very young a season ago. And I remember doing the Overton-Bertrand game last year and just noticing freshmen, sophomores, juniors, they're just up and down the roster. So they bring back virtually everybody, but they did move up to Class D1. So that'll be interesting to see how that transpires a little bit. But they bring back quarterback Eric Ackerman last year, who tossed over 1,000 yards and 11 total touchdowns. But again, you bring back virtually everybody, that helps.
Yeah, and Ackerman's a good one, and they're going to get better. The D1 thing doesn't matter a whole lot for this game, but it'll be interesting as the year goes on. I think I like what they have coming back. I think they're going to be a tough team this year.
I think so too. And you have a good coach as well for Bertrand that knows what he's doing. Obviously, he's won a state championship with other team. But this is a Bertrand team that might be sneaky good. And so I think definitely watch the Vikings and what could transpire this fall.
Yeah, I'm really, this is one of those games that I'm really interested in what's going to come from it, because there's some question marks coming into this game for both teams.
That game again will be on 880 KRVN, 106.9 FM in the Kearney area, and then 98.5 FM in the Grand Island area. Kickoff at 7. Pre-game for that one will be at 6:35 in that one. Well, before we go, we have other matchups as well that we want to mention on our sister stations across the state. Let's start with KNEB. This is going to be an interesting one. Scottsbluff makes a long-distance trek out to eastern Nebraska to play Columbus. That's going to be an interesting one.
They know how to travel in Scottsbluff,
yes.
But that is a long trip. But they're good. They're always good at Scottsbluff.
Of course they are. They'll be good again this season. That game can be heard online at kneb.com. How about our sister station in York, 104.9 Max Country? This is going to be an interesting game in central Nebraska. We know how good Sutton has been in the last several years. They're hosting Grand Island Central Catholic, and they have been improving here as of late. So this is going to be a good matchup. We know both teams lost some stud players, but this should be a good matchup in game number 1.
Yeah, too bad I'm doing a game. I'd like to listen to that. That'll be an interesting one for sure.
Well, you can listen if you want online at 1049maxcountry.com. And our final game in our area, in our new sister station, KUVR, it is Holdridge that'll be playing on the road at Adams Central. We all know how good Adams Central was a season ago. Holdridge struggled again last year, but maybe having some pieces put together this year, we'll see what they can do. But boy, not the opening contest you want.
Well, new head coach for the first time in like 20 years now for Holdridge, so that should be interesting. But boy, Adams Central, they lost a lot of their firepower from last year, but they're still expected to be pretty good. So it should be an interesting early challenge for the Dusters.
Again, that game can be heard on KUVR as well, our new station that we have acquired out of the Holdridge area. Again, we are so excited to have high school football on the stations this upcoming Friday. A triple header, of course, the scoreboard show later on with Christian Schwartz. It'll be at 10:35 as well on 880. But boy, we just feel lucky. You don't know how long the season's going to go. We hope it goes the entire year into the playoffs. We hope that we'll be able to have a state champion as this is all done. But talking to all the coaches, they all just feel lucky to be playing at least night 1.
And what we're hearing from all the coaches and the administrators, let's follow the rules so that we can keep playing. And that goes for all of us too.
A reminder, again, all the games can be heard on KRVN.com, but just a refresher, Cozad and Gothenburg, Scott will have the call on that one. That can be heard on 93.1 The River. Lexington will host the Seward Blue Jays. That'll be heard on Camley Country, kickoff at 7. And Overton will travel to Bertrand. That game with Jason Jorgensen will be over on 880 KRVN. And again, all the games online at KRVN.com. But boy, here we are, night 1. Let's see what happens.
Let's do it.
He's Scott Foster. I'm Tyler Cavali. Thanks for tuning in for the first edition here in 2020 of the Press Box Preview.